The beautiful wing neckline is going to be our focus in today's tutorial. Meanwhile, it's Nigeria's 64th Independence Day, so I wish Nigeria a happy independence. Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another tutorial video. An interesting one at that. To begin with, this is what the front part of the dress looks like. It's cut on a princess dart, hence the look you can see, and this is what the back also looks like. And moving on to the cutting of the neck, which is our main focus for today. You know, on a normal day, to cut out in the neckline or the neck piece of any dress, you fold into two, you place on fold like so. But in this case, it's going to be opened, like it's going to be placed open like this, okay? And the two sides of the neckline are not equal. One is wider than the other, okay, just to achieve this particular neckline. So on one part, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches width, that's for the width of the neckline, and then on the other side I'm going to be using 2 inches or even 1.5, but I prefer to use 2 inches, okay? So I have a total of 4.5 inches, that is 4.5 inches for the width of the neckline. And for the depth, I'm going to be using about 7 inches for the depth, okay? And at the point where I have the depth of the neckline, which is, I use 7.5 at this point, I'm going to be marking the width that I have at the upper part of the neckline as well, which is 2.5, okay? And then I'm going to be connecting it with a straight line. So this is the connection of the straight neckline on the 2.5 inches side. Do you get that? And to achieve the neckline, I'm going to be curving it to the other one just like so with a curve rule. So I have like a one-sided V neckline, and then I cut that out. Please note that I haven't slanted the shoulder area of the dress, okay? So I have to fold it into two and then mark out 3/4 at the shoulder slant and then have it slanted and then cut out. This is because of the unequal width of the neckline. Do you get that? That's why I reserved the cutting of the shoulder line up to this moment. So at this point I have the shoulder line slanted, or I have the shoulder line slanted, yeah, and that's it. And for the back, I get the back, you know, together like so. As you can see, I already have the zipper allowance already ironed in or folded in at this point. Now to achieve the width of our neckline at the back, I'm going to be placing the right side of the front, you know, facing the right side of the back, so that I don't mix the width of, that is the wideness of the neckline. Remember, they are not equal, so that you don't put the 2.5 where the 2 inches is going to be. So now that I have where both sides of the width of the neckline is going to lie, I have that marked out. So this is the 2 inches and then this is the 2.5. I hope you understand why I brought in the front, okay? So at this point, I now pick them together like a regular, like the way you would cut your regular neckline, so that I can get the width, or I can mark the width of the neckline, which I'm going to be using about 1.5 inches at this point. We don't want it too deep. You can even use 1 inch or 1/4, okay? And then I connect, or I curve the neckline to meet each other, and then I cut out. And at this point again, I'm going to be slanting the shoulder line just like I did to the front part of the dress, okay? So after that, I have this point that I had, that is 2.5 inches, because what I cut together is 2 inches. So I'm going to be adding that extra half to the other side of the neckline to give me the 2.5 inches width for the neckline, so that, you know, it aligns with the front neckline. I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make. So this is me placing it to show you that one is wider than the other, just like the front, you know, is. So that's basically for the cutting of the width of the neckline. So by the time I place them together, you can see that the sides of the 2 inches, you know, rhymes with the side of the 2 inches of the front and back together. So that's basically why you need to put the front, you know, put the front of the dress very close to you when you are cutting the back, so that you will not mix the width of the neckline. You know, by the time you're ready to stitch, you now find out that the part that is on the other side is not supposed to be, and all that. So just be safe out there. So at this point, I have the front joined together, and now I told you this is a princess blouse. So I'm going to be joining the shoulder, stitching the shoulder down together, that's the front and the back, and I'm going to be doing the same thing to the interfacing. So also note that what I did to the main fabric that I'm using for this dress is what I'm doing to the interfacing as well. Okay, so the same process implies both to the interfacing. So at this point, I'm going to be joining the shoulder of both the main dress and the interfacing. So at this point, the shoulder is joined, and then I'm going to be measuring the neckline round, okay, from one side to the other. So from the back, I measure all the way to this V point or the sharp point, and that gave me about 13 inches. And then on the other side, which is shorter, it gave me about 11.5 inches. Okay, so I measured the two sides and it gave me two unequal lengths. That's for the neckline round. So at this point, I get this fabric that I'm going to be using for the wing neckline, and the width that I use for this is 5 inches. Okay, so the width is 5 inches for the neckline, and then for the length, remember we measured on this side we got 13.5, and then on this point we got 11.5. So I measured the 13.5, and I'm going to be adding an extra 8 to 10 inches depending on your choice on how long you want the pointed area of the wing neckline to be. So I use 10 inches and then the width of 5 inches placed on fold. Remember that the 5 inches is placed on fold. So I have that cut out. It's going to give me something as straight as this. That's for one part of the neckline, and then for the second one, which is 11.5, I also place on fold with a width of 5 inches, just like the other one. And then like we measured, the length was 11.5, and then an extra 8 to 10 inches, but I used 10 inches, and I also cut like so. Okay, so at this point we have the two parts of the wing neckline ready. I'm going to be using an interfacing for this. Okay, make sure you use any interfacing of your choice to give it that width, that the weight that it needs to carry. Remember, as you can see, sorry I said remember as if you are here with me. As you can see, this fabric is quite thick. Okay, it's quite, so I'm not going to be putting the interfacing on the two sides of the fabric. I'm just going to be putting on one side and about 1 inches after the midpoint, okay, because the fabric is thick. But if you're using a light fabric, please make sure you put the interfacing around the fabric. So after that, I have that ironed out and folded as well. So I have the interfacing on both sides of this, and then I come back to the neckline of the dress. Remember, we have one longer than the other. So for the longer one, I'm going to be starting like so. So I'm going to be placing it on the neckline like so. You can see I have about ½ inch or 1 inch after the neckline out. That's for the brown fabric. Okay, this is just to give an excess, just to give a room for any excesses that might, or any shortage that might arise. So at this point, I'm not going to be marking exactly on the sharp V side, on the brown. I marked ½ inch after that V point. Do you see that? I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make. And see, I didn't mark exactly at this point. I came down by ½ an inch, and then I connect with the diagonal line to this other point. Do you see that? So I'm going to be marking with the diagonal line just like so. Do you see that? And then I'm going to be cutting that out. So I have that cut out. This is for one side of our wing neckline. Okay, so we have this now, and then I'm going to be doing the same thing to the other side. I place like so, leaving an excess of about 1 inch or ½ inch after the main bodice of the neckline. Like I said, this is to give room for any shortage that might arise during stitching. And then I place it like so carefully, like I did to the other side. I'm not going to be marking exactly at that V point where the brown touches the V point of the neckline. I'm going to be coming down by ½ an inch. Okay, this is to give room for the stitching allowance. I come down by ½ an inch. I hope you can see clearly that it like the ½ inch does not touch that V point of the neckline. That's the main neckline. And then I also mark a diagonal line just like so to the other end of the brown fabric, and I also cut just like I did to the other side. So we are having our neckline coming out the way it should. So at this point, I'm going to be placing this like so, and you can see it's already giving us the shape, and I'm going to be stitching using ½ an inch on this pointed part of the brown fabric. So after stitching, I'm going to be trimming out the pointed or the excess seam at the pointed area so that it can give us a very sharp pointy edge by the time we'll turn it inside out. So after cutting that out, I'm going to be turning both of them inside out. Give it a very good press, and then you're going to see what it looks like. If you have watched up to this point and you haven't subscribed, please do well by clicking on the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up. So after turning, this is what it looks like, and then I give it a very good press. You can see how beautiful and sharp it is already looking and giving us the shape, that we are already working towards. So to finally stitch this brown neck piece to the main neckline, I'm going to be turning to the back side of the dress. So at the back side, you can see the way I placed this point is not supposed to touch the V neckline. Like when we're cutting, I moved downward by half an inch, and so when I'm going to be stitching, I'm going to be coming down by half an inch. Do you understand? The pointed part of the brown did not touch the V part of the neckline. Do you get? So I get the second one as well. Like as you can see, it's not supposed to touch the V neckline. Not going to be exactly at this sharp point. You place it half inch or after again. So at this point, when you place it half inch, it's going to overlap on the other brown. I hope you understand this narration at this point. Okay, so by the time I raise the brown, you can see that the V is going to rest exactly after stitching. It's going to align with the V on the white parts. I just hope you understand this explanation that I've done here. So before I move on to the stitching, I'm going to be pinning it down, okay, just to make sure that everything is in place. So I turn it to the right side, and then I'm going to be getting the interfacing. I place it on the other one, the main fabric, like so. Okay, so the right side of the main bodice facing the right side of the interfacing. So I have that stitched down. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. Can you see that? So I have the interfacing, the main fabric, and then the brown for the wing neckline. So as you can see, I've already stitched the neckline. So raising the interfacing, you can see that the brown is in between the interfacing and the main fabric. So I'm going to be notching, and for this pointed part, please be very careful so that you don't cut through the stitching line. Okay, so you notch very close to the stitch or the stitching line, but not across it, so that you don't go back to the stitching machine. So I notch the rest of the neckline round like so. So after notching, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to be top stitching, and then to top stitch, I'm going to be top stitching on the interfacing. Do you get? So I open it up like so, and I'm going to make sure that can you see, I'm going to be top stitching on the interfacing, not on the brown parts. Do you get? So I'm going to be stitching all the way round, just like I stitched, or top stitching round, just like I did the main stitching. So after top stitching, you can see the top stitching is on the interfacing. So this is what we have, looking all what it should looking beautiful already. So I'm trying to place the shoulder line, and I'm trying to arrange the blouse or the dress so that I can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also at this point, I've shaped the body of the dress, that's the upper part. As you can see, I already joined the two sides using the body measurement that is required. Okay, so this is me just trying to arrange the neckline area so that you see that our wing neckline has already taken shape. So at this point, we are left with the zipper, the sleeve, and all that, which is not relevant to this tutorial. We are mainly focusing on the neckline. So to finish up the neckline is meant to put in styles to stitch the zip or add the zip to it. So to add the zip for this neckline, okay, just listen and watch carefully. You're not going to be laying the neckline flat. Do you get? That's the point I'm trying to make here. Just watch what I'm going to be doing. You're not going to be folding the brown flat like so at the back, like at the back neckline, by the time you want to join your zipper to it. Do you get? This is not what you're going to be doing. You're going to be taking it up like so, as if you are folding a collar. So this point should be about 1.5 or 2 inches. So in measuring it, you can see this gave me 1.5 inches. Do you get that? That's the folding of the neckline, of the neck piece, I mean. So this is what, so I'm assuming like this is the zipper being fixed. So this is what it should look like. Do you get? Making sure that it is equal and pulled upward, just like I already showed you. Don't make it lay flat like so. No, it's going to defeat the whole essence of the neckline. So guys, this is what our beautiful wing neckline looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This this dress really came out looking beautiful, elegant, very demure, very mindful, everything that's supposed to give. And this is my daughter turning me into a dancing queen right here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please give this a try and let me know the outcome in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next one. Bye.